My name is Beth Carter. I am a registered nurse and legal nurse consultant. I started with the firm about 15 years ago. I am the nurse supervisor, so I supervise the nurse desk and basically talk with callers and review potential birth injury claims. I'm a registered nurse. I have my bachelor's of science in nursing from University of Massachusetts, and I loved labor and delivery and helping moms bring their babies into the world. So that's what I decided to focus on. And then I was a staff nurse as a labor and delivery nurse for about 10 years and left that and started working in the legal field. I think for me, the most fulfilling part of my role here is helping to give families a voice and to help them feel like they're being heard and that their concerns are justified. Parents just want what's best for their kids. And so I think that that's the most fulfilling part for me, is to know that we are potentially helping them get that. So my oldest is 19. And I delivered him at 29 weeks, so 11 weeks early. I was working on the unit at the time as a labor nurse, so there was that sort of added fear of knowing what was going on, but looking at it from a different side, being in the bed instead of taking care of the patient. So I delivered him. We were very lucky. He did very well. He was in NICU for 44 days. So I think that experience really helps me know where these moms are coming from. So leaving at the end of the day is probably the hardest thing to have to do for your child. And not being in control of taking care of your child. Somebody else is in that role. And that's really hard. I'll never forget the first time I walked into the NICU and my son was in clothes, which doesn't seem like a big deal, but for a mom that you don't know how your child is health-wise, to see him in clothes for the first time is like amazing and a little disappointing that like you weren't the one to be able to do that for your child. So I think that connection is something that I can offer the callers. Just kind of, I've been there. And it's things that people don't necessarily think about. If they feel like something isn't right, then they should take that step and make a phone call and talk with us. We have nurses on staff. They would talk with one of us, and we take a history of the pregnancy, the labor, more about the child currently, how they're doing currently. Then we send that to the attorneys. The good thing is the attorneys all understand that these families are dealing with pretty sick kids and can't take a lot of time away. So the good thing is typically isn't a lot of time in court that these families have to worry about, but it just helps, again, with the cost of care that is just so outrageous currently. So even if you like your doctor, it's nothing personal against the physician or the midwife themselves. A mistake happened, and mistakes happen all the time. A mistake happened, and you're looking for the ability to care for your child. You're not looking at pointing fingers. It's not about that. It's about getting the care that your child deserves. I think a lot of times parents are calling just because they are thinking about the long-term care for their child. How much is it going to be for medical care? How much is it going to be for education services, for therapies that aren't necessarily covered? It's a lot for parents to think about when you have a sick kid, in addition to having to think about how am I going to be able to manage all of this. We're here to listen, and we're not going to judge. A lot of times moms will just say at the end of the call, thank you for listening, because they haven't had somebody just sit and listen to them, listen to their story. I also want them to know that they are advocating for their child, and that's important, and they should feel empowered that they've done this. I truly think the majority of the people that we talk to don't want the same thing to happen to other families, and they want to be able to know that their child is taken care of in the long term, and to be able to offer them the services and the treatments that they may not be able to otherwise. The Sokolove Law difference is the nurses. We have a combined experience of over 60 years of labor and delivery nursing. For a free legal consultation, please call or text now.